Hey guys, just another quick video to give you a bit of an insight into the mentor role. I know there's many of you who have already done this, mentoring in the last couple of challenges, so you guys will be off to a flying start. And for those of you who have not done it, this is a good chance just to get a real brief insight into what it is and what's involved and what's expected. I guess first and foremost, I think the major intention that I'd like you guys to bring to the challenge is to lead by example. You guys have been selected because you're already doing this, so it's probably just a reminder just to continue, forging your way to your best. I think by you achieving your outcomes, fitness, or you can pause. I think by you guys achieving your best, physically and psychologically and as performance results, that will inspire many around you. So just lead the way. And I mean, physically, and also I think on the Facebook forum, I think that's a good place to lead and to post suggestions and feedback and stuff like that. But just be a role model, which that's priority number one for sure. You don't have to do the workbook element of the challenge as a mentor. It's completely optional. If you'd like to do it, it's by all means do it. I think it's one thing I've noticed with mentors being involved in this program is they tend to hold themselves more accountable because they're being watched. They're being admired, and as they're leading, they feel obliged to do a bit more. It's kind of like why I want you guys here. I want you guys to continue achieving your best as well, and if that means completing a workbook and having me look over it and just check things out and just creating that sense of accountability, then by all means do it. If you're too busy for that, and I get you guys have done multiple challenges and it's probably a bit of a ball ache for a lot of you, then don't do it. It's fine. I think what I'd love you guys to do I'd love you to be at week 1, 5 and 10. That would be great if you can. I know you're busy again, but if you can, you don't need to be there for the whole session. But particularly week 1 for the new crew to meet you and see who you are. You guys are kind of lighthouses in this program, and they'll be looking to you for support. Having you do the beep test with them, and performance testing, and even like the before and after photos. I think I'd like you to do that. I'd like to think that in this program you guys will improve yourselves across the 10 weeks. You don't have to be 100% compliance and like everyone else is, but for a lot of us it's a good opportunity to do it and to fix 10 good weeks. So if you can do those kind of things, if you can get involved in week 1, 5 and 10, that'd be great. Very shortly you'll be allocated your crew. It could be one pair, it could be two pairs, depending on the size of the group. So more than likely it won't be more than 4 people, and they'll be your crew. They'll be your crew who you're going to to motivate, inspire and support across these 10 weeks. With people, one of the things I find hard with a business that deals with people is there's always different personalities and different communication styles and everything like this. So it's a good test. It's a good test for you guys to see if you can manage different personalities. And personally, that's the thing I really enjoy about this business is learning how people communicate, learning how people listen, and trying to get the best out of them through their form of communication. So do your best. You don't need to be their best friends, but I think chatting with them at sessions is important. And I think one thing that has worked well in the past is a shared communication method. Like it could be Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, or just something where you and your team can communicate outside of what we see on the Facebook posts and what I'm doing with them. Just small little micro communities throughout the community that some people are more comfortable asking questions in a smaller group. So I would definitely instigate that on the first day in our week 1 session if you can. I'll share a document with you that has your crew's numbers, phone numbers, email addresses as well. So the more you can sort of touch base with them, the better. Train with them if you can. If you can train alongside them, that'd be perfect. I always encourage things outside of the shake-up timetable. Like I know in the last couple of challenges, the crew have been hitting the stairs or going bike rides or just doing things together that I think builds builds strength and builds confidence. So knock yourself out, that sort of stuff. When we're talking about workbook responsibilities, so I want to make this as easy for you guys as possible. So we've got you'll be looking into your crew's workbooks, and for your crew as a participant of the challenge, they need to have their food diary up to date by 8 p.m. Friday, which you guys know because you've all done this before, and then they need to have given their partner some feedback by Sunday at 10 a.m. That means that the pair would have completed their own stuff and then provided one another feedback, so that for you guys as mentors, you can get some time in there on a Sunday if you can. It might be hard, or a Monday even. Really, I don't want you spending much more time than like 5 minutes on a workbook. Really, just glance through, check things are in place. It's really about creating the sense of accountability rather than knowing all the answers and providing all this amazing feedback. And it's more about holding them accountable and for them to know that someone's looking at their workbook. So just check that they've done the things that they say they're going to do. There's a couple of tutorials in the mentor folder which you can look at if you've not done it before. But yeah, just check they're holding one another accountable, especially in the first couple of weeks. We want some goals in there. We want all the measurements in there, and we really want them to be jumping in at week 1 and filling out their workbook. You won't need to do anything until really the end of the first week. Really, that's when you look in there and see that they've provided one other support and feedback, and then from there you can leave some comments in the trainer's comments area at the bottom of their food diary. It's a good place to leave feedback, and then for us to communicate and for me to see what's going on in your crew's workbooks, we have the compliance tracking sheet, and this is just a kind of like a check sheet for you guys to come through and just highlight the boxes. It's either red or green. Either they've done what they've said or they haven't done it. So if it's done, if they've completed their goals, and it's green. If they haven't done that, just mark it red. Likewise, if they put their measurements in, if they've given their buddy support, yep, green. And just go, it should be either green, red, right through the boxes. And then there's a box where it says victories, or I think it's something like victories or greatest challenges for the week. In that box, I want to encourage you to, that's where I'm going to look. Like, I'll be honest, if I can avoid having to open everybody's workbook, it'd be really helpful for me. But I understand if there's a need for me to go in and look at these workbooks, then I'm more than happy to jump in there and look. And I think I'd like you guys to tell me if I need to do that. And let me clarify that a little bit. If someone's done really well and they're not struggling too much, then just put some of their positive in that box, because then I can communicate the positive to the participant. If there's some things that they've really struggled with, put them in there so I can see them, and I'll probably, if I see struggle points in that box, in the comments from you, then I'll more than likely open their workbook and have a quick look and see what's going on anyway. So that's kind of like where you'll flag it for me. But just so you know what I do, I'll glance through the tracking sheet and I'll look at each participant, I'll look at the comments you've left, and I'll send them an SMS and an email based on what the comments you've left, saying, trying to make it sort of specific to them so they feel like they're getting a specific message that holds them accountable. So you'll be leaving comments and I'll be sending an SMS based on what you've written. Try and leave out any of the, don't just fill that space for the sake of filling it. I don't really care about their training and how I see them at training, so it's more about how they're doing with their eating and eating behaviours and understanding the concepts. If they're missing things, or if they're never getting protein, or if they're having big 4 or 5 hour gaps in their meals, write that in there, because that's their greatest challenge that we need to address. So if you can communicate that to me, then I can just jump on that with them. So that's in the compliance tracking sheet. Again, if you can, what I'll do in this challenge, on a Tuesday I'll sit down and send SMSs out to all the participants. That gives you guys sort of Sunday from 10 a.m. on, and then Monday if you need it, for you to jump in the compliance tracking worksheet and just complete the check boxes and leave me some feedback so I can get onto them early on a Tuesday morning and keep them progressing and learning from the previous week, so they don't keep making the same mistakes. We're going to do something in this challenge, and I'll talk about it in week 1. If your participants or your crew, we find that as the program progresses, people have great intentions at the start, but often people just don't fulfil their their responsibilities, and they tend to fade out. They don't complete their workbook. If that starts happening, then I'm going to call the participant and tell them that we're no longer going to hold them accountable. And so if we get repeat weeks of no activity or poor activity or not taking advice and just not really being coachable, then I'll have the conversation with them that we won't look in their stuff anymore. We're going to waste our time, and I'll do that as politely and as diplomatically as possible in week one. So there's a little bit of an insight into what's involved in the role. I don't want you guys spending heaps of. You guys are so busy. You've got your own training, your own lives. I think it's just the secret is to create an air of accountability and even if it's the impression that they've been looked over, people will perform better. And we'll find in a challenge there'll be 2/3 of the group who just grab it and run with it, and there'll be a small group who don't, and they're the ones that we'll give a little bit more time to because they probably don't understand the concepts. But a lot of the people will just blaze through, so it's exciting. I hope that gives you a bit of an understanding of everything that's involved. And as I said, we'll have a Zoom call at a select date in week one, which I'll share it with you guys, where we'll just jump on a 45-minute conference call and talk tactics and share ideas and answer questions in the first week of the challenge, so we can get off to a flying start. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching this and for being part of the challenge. I'm pumped. I'm so excited to get this one started. So see you soon. Stay on.